So you'll need some lace for the skirt. You'll also need some more book paper. And what you need to do is, okay, this is the size of the book paper I'm using, and that would be so about 6 by 9 inches, and then I've just concertinaed it through at approximately half, maybe just over half, 3/4 of an inch, half to 3/4 of an inch I've folded. So I've got 4 of those, and this is the same book paper as I used on the corset top. Okay, there's the other one. So concertina them, and then you want to be pinching the top like that. Okay, and it's probably best, see, there's a little image on the back of this one, so that I will put that towards the back of the skirt because I don't particularly want it showing through the front of the dress. So that will be one. Another one I will actually be cutting off a bit because I want it a little bit shorter. So there's my second one, and it's that much shorter. This one I will cut off again, probably half of what I cut there, like that. And so you want them sort of staggered like that. I might just take a little bit more of that shorter one. Okay, like that. Sorry, don't want to get out of the frame. And then with the last two, I'm actually going to join them together because I want it bigger than the others. I want it a little bit longer, and I want it bigger. Okay. And I'll probably just trim this off actually because it's got a little rip, and if I'm not careful it will just keep ripping. So there we go. Of course you don't have to use book paper. You could use some pretty scrapbook paper. That would be nice as well. It depends what kind of look you're going for. So that's the longer one. Just spread it out how you want it, and then you've got the next one, and that will go something like that. And then that one will be maybe something like that on top. And this part is, if you wanted to put lace on your paper, do it now before you start gluing it all together, because you want to be able to stretch it out like that to put a little bit of lace along that part. Okay, I'm off to find some lace and I'll be back shortly. Okay, so I found my laces, and what I've decided to do with this one is, instead of having it poking out the side like I did last time, I'm actually going to do it like a back bustle. Can you see that? That's I'm going to have all the lace at the front here with tulle underneath. I think tulle adds it, helps it to puff out, and have this, like, I will have to manipulate it a bit once it's in because I've just got it sat there, but that poking out the back, that one sticking up a bit more, and then a nice big flower on the back as like a little back bustle. See, there's the front, there's the back. So I'll just show you what I'm playing with at the moment. That will be the front like that. Just there we go, that's a bit easier, isn't it? And I think what I'm doing is I'm going to have this very pale pink tulle, so that will kind of be the base of the skirt. Not that big, of course. I'm just giving you an idea of how I'm working it out. And then I'm going to have this lovely lace sort of, you know, gathered up, which unfortunately I'm going to have to do by hand because my machine is just not liking lace at the moment. So that will go over it like that, and then I'm just playing with this. So if this looks atrocious, ladies, you know, forgive me, but I'm just excuse me, playing with ideas right now. This one from Lavish Laces, and I think this one's actually from Zendelay, and that will go over there. That's bringing in the pink, the creams, the whites, and of course it will have decorations on it, but it will all swoop up at the back and allow, you know, the paper to show through at the back. So that's what I'm working on. So what I've got to go do now is gather up this lace here to make the base of the skirt like that. I have to go gather up some of this tulle. Of course it won't be this thick, so it's only going to be a glimmer of pink showing through. I will show you how I glue these together once I've gathered everything up, but I have to go and do that by hand, so I won't record gathering it up, but when I've finished I'll come back and show you what I'm doing then. Be back soon. And just to give you an idea on how I'm doing the tulle, I've just folded it over, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to trim it up the top here, but I will leave it like maybe just over an inch longer than this larger lace here, because I do want it popping out the bottom a little bit. Okay, so I have gathered up my tulle, as you can see there, and I've gathered up the larger lace, and what's going to happen now is one will go over the top of the other like that, and it will be placed inside of our torso, and the overall look will get it in there. The overall look will sort of be like that. But what I want to do, because the bottom of the bodice is straight, I want to give it a little bit of shape. I think it might look pretty, so I'm just going to sort of cut a little shape in the bottom here, and let's see how that turns out. Try and line up the middle a little. It's flying everywhere now. Sort of like that. Let's see how that goes. Right. When you're checking to see if things are right, just make sure you're holding this side. See how when you let go, it might go a bit uneven like that. So make sure you pull it so your back is nice and straight. That way you can have a look and see if it's going to work properly both ways. And that, I think that looks pretty alright. Okay, so now what I want to be doing is gluing the lace and the tulle inside. And I use that glue, the Helmars glue. I usually use that for just about everything that I do. I find it's a nice strong glue, and it dries very quickly, which is always a good thing. Make sure you've got the right side of the lace to the outside, and sometimes it can be a little bit hard to work out which is the inside and which is the outside. Okay, so that's the right side. I'm just going to, excuse me, push all my gathers. Now all to gather it, I just did it by hand. I did a small running stitch all along the edge of the lace and then just pulled it up. So I'm just going to be putting glue along that upper edge there. Sorry. Glue all just around this little edge bit here so that I can put it inside my bodice part. The easiest way to put it inside is to fold it in half like that, so the glue, you're going to put it inside, get the halfway mark and pop it in, then roll it to one side so it starts sticking, and then get the other side and roll it. Now I'm leaving a gap at the back of mine because I think I mentioned earlier I'm going to do a back bustle on this one, which I won't be showing fully in the tutorial because I need it to be a little bit of a surprise. Now just make sure your lace is fairly even. Give it a nice push down so it sticks nicely. Flip it over, make sure, see how it goes like that, and there's plenty of room for it to poof out. And that little line around the hips there is quite pretty. So just keep pressing. It doesn't take long to dry this glue. If you prefer to use hot glue, use hot glue. I don't use hot glue very often at all, so just use what I use. Okay, so that's the top layer of the lace done. And now we want our tulle layer to go in, and we're going to do just exactly the same thing. Now I can start gluing this in. Just push that down. And this is why it's pretty important to have your bodice nice and strong, so that it's going to take all this gluing and sticking and things. Now I'm just going to find some lace to put along the edges of my paper fans, so I'll be back in a moment to show you that. Okay, so there's all our concertinas done. We've got the lace on all three of them now, and this is probably something that you may just have to play around with a little bit to get it how you want it. Like I said before, you can do it different ways. There's your base concertina there. Now you can lay that central, you can have it coming off to one side, and then, you know, that one like that if you like. Which is sort of how I did it for my first art dress, but this one I want them to be central. So it's just a matter of playing a little bit how you want it, but then when you've decided how you want it, then you have to glue them. Excuse me. And you don't want that sat right inside the other one, but you don't want it sat completely on top. So what you have to do is put some glue on it, like so, just on the edge, like that, and then put that one down, open it up just a little, put that one on top, and just sort of maneuver it so it goes like maybe halfway down inside the other one. Let me just turn that around so you can see. Usually I'm holding it up. You want it going inside the bottom one, but not too far inside the other one. So it's sort of, and it doesn't have to go in each one of them. Sort of, oh, there we go. Right, see how it's stepped up a little bit here? And it's just in random ones. Open it up a bit. You don't want it too tight. And before it dries, you want to put your hand in there a bit and lift it up. That's it. You don't want it flat, that's what I mean. You don't want it lying flat. So it's just a matter of playing with it a little before it dries. There we go. Okay, so I've lifted it up a little bit. Probably a bit too much on that side. Okay. I'll just have to play with this for a minute because that's a bit high on that side and I don't want it sticking completely down before it dries. Move it. Okay, that's better. See how we've got that kind of thing going? Because you want the skirt to sort of go, you know, out. So, sort of lift it up but back down at the sides. Okay, now that's that one. And now we've got to try and do the same for this one. Because we want it sitting up a bit from the next one as well. But we can't have them getting too big because then it's not going to fit inside our bodice. So like I said, it's just a matter of playing around with it a little bit. Because this one that in there. See, this one is sitting. We have our first layer here, then we have our second one, and there's the third one there. So they're probably just 1/4 of an inch out from one another. Okay, now I've got to be able to stick that without it moving too much on me. So what I might do is just pop the glue in this way. Just, can you see that? Just under that first thing there. And then a bit in there on the last one. Let that hold for a moment so it doesn't slip around, because, you know, if you get it right, glue it. You don't want to be mucking around with it too much. Probably, once it's in the doll, it's not really going to be moving a great deal either. Inside the bodice part, that is. take a little look and see how we're going here. Open that up a bit. Push it down there. Kind of like that. That's alright, isn't it? And that is the kind of effect we want to have going. Of course, I still need to sort of play with it and get it nice and even. Let's see if I can. There we go. How's that? See what I mean? That's the effect we want. So there's the front, like that. And then when you turn it around, of course I'm pressing it down at the moment, if you angle it up a bit at the back, when it's up, see how that'll go out there? And the front will be, wish I could angle this a bit better for you. There we go. See how, if you angle the back of the paper out like that, she will get a really lovely look to her, see? Okay, I'm just going to go and try, I'll see if I can glue it in as best I can. I don't want to go too far though, because there are things I want to do, but they're more decoration. So, what I've done is I've angled it down like that because I want that puffiness at the back. So I've purposely angled it down and I've stuck it through the back here, because the beauty about this little corset is I can lift that up, and once it's dry, and lift that side up, and it will cover where that is with the lacing and everything, see? And we get this nice little bustle effect. I'm not going to rearrange those papers just yet until that's dry properly. Because I don't want to disturb it. Just make sure it's pretty even. I think there's one advantage to having it on the side, and that's that, you know, both sides don't have to be the same, but I do like the idea of having it on the back as well. So let's see, hopefully it will work out. Making sure that's going to hold in there nicely. It's very light, so it shouldn't have a problem. And like I said, I can just pull that up a bit like that, and that will close nicely over the back of the seam there. And I'll be making a nice little something on the back of that. So that is your basic art dress. That's how to make the body and how to put the skirt on. The decorations are up to you. Okay, the decorations are up to you. If you want it more full, maybe just, you know, put a bit more tulle in here, or maybe even another smaller piece of paper folded might hold it up, but I think when I'm finished this it will be puffy enough. So I hope you like that tutorial. I'm sorry I can't show you the finished one right now, but hopefully by the end of the month I'll be able to put up the finished art dress once I've mailed it off to the receiver. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you understood what I was doing. It's not actually that difficult when you break it down into steps. Just remember to, you know, a bit of beading or lace along the edges here, along the top, just to finish it nicely. And the last thing, See all the workings inside there? Do put something over those inside. I put a little rosette flower in there to cover it up last time, just, you know, helps to finish it off nicely. So put some, any kind of sleeves you want to hang it. I had bits of lace to hold mine last time, but you could put some pearl trim as your little straps. You could have ribbon as your straps. You could even have some delicate chain as your straps, which would be quite stunning actually when I think about it. So have fun if you're going to make an art dress, and do let me know, because I'd love to see how it turns out. Okay, thank you for joining me. Bye bye.